Gunshots echoed across the rolling hills as dusk settled, and the haunting howl of a wolf signaled the beginning of another brutal hunt. Every year, wolves inflict an estimated $12 million in losses on livestock farms across the United States. Farmers live in constant fear as these predators tear through their herds, especially sheep, causing both economic devastation and emotional trauma. On a cold and quiet night in rural Pennsylvania, hungry wolves descended from the forests and struck local sheep farms. Terrified animals huddled together, showing clear signs of stress and panic. According to research, each wolf attack can cost a farmer about $150 per sheep, and when multiplied across hundreds of thousands of animals, the losses reach staggering numbers, up to $24 million annually for roughly 160,000 sheep killed or injured nationwide. These tragedies sparked outrage, and in one case, more than 50,000 protesters flooded the streets demanding that the government step up and protect rural families from the escalating wolf menace. Faced with mounting damage, the American government and many farmers turned to a time-tested ally, hunting dogs. These animals are more than companions. They are highly trained protectors capable of sniffing out, chasing, and deterring wolves before they reach livestock. Equipped with GPS collars, hunters can track their dogs' movements even in the most dangerous encounters. Packs of trained dogs, working together with their handlers, can face down 4 or 5 wolves at once, driving them back into the wilderness. Their intelligence, loyalty, and sharp instincts make them one of the few effective defenses in this ongoing struggle. The results have been promising. In northern Pennsylvania in 2022, wolf attacks on livestock fell from 200 incidents per year to just 100 thanks to the deployment of hunting dogs. Within just 3 months of combined efforts between dogs and rifles, more than 4,500 wolves were eliminated in one of America's most wolf-dense regions. But hunting wolves is not as simple as taking up arms. In Pennsylvania, those seeking a license to hunt with dogs must first prove that they can properly train and care for their animals. On top of that, firearm regulations are strict.
Every hunter must undergo safety training, pass shooting tests, and demonstrate knowledge of proper gun handling techniques to ensure that both people and dogs remain safe in the chaos of the hunt.
Wolf season typically runs from November through February, with strict quotas to balance predator control and biodiversity conservation. Yet the wolves are cunning. With speeds of up to 37 miles per hour, they can outrun and outmaneuver hunters. A single missed shot not only ruins the chase, but warns the wolves of danger, making them far harder to approach in future hunts. Some communities oppose wolf hunting altogether, arguing that it causes unnecessary suffering to wild animals. Animal rights activists call for alternatives like relocation or sterilization programs. Supporters, however, argue that without control, wolf numbers would explode, pushing farms to collapse under the pressure of predation. Wolves, however, are not the only threat to American farmers. In peaceful farming towns where endless cornfields stretch for miles, another menace has emerged: the black bear. At first, only a few wandered into the fields under cover of night, drawn by the sweet smell of ripening corn. But soon, dozens appeared, sometimes groups of 40 or more, trampling rows of crops and devouring entire sections of fields. Farmers awoke to find broken stalks, half-eaten ears, and huge bear tracks pressed deep into the soil. Experts estimated that these attacks caused tens of thousands of dollars in losses, directly threatening both domestic food supply and agricultural exports. One chilling encounter occurred in the Rock. Mountains when a man recording a documentary stumbled upon a massive black bear. In an instant, the bear charged. Heart pounding, the man remembered his survival training. Never run, never turn your back. He raised his arms to look larger, shouted, and finally unleashed a blast of pepper spray into the bear's eyes. Temporarily blinded, the animal retreated, giving the man a chance to escape with his life. With an estimated 850,000 to 950,000 black bears roaming the United States, the challenge is immense. While hunting seasons are tightly regulated, allowing only a limited number per year, many farmers see it as the only reliable option to protect their livelihoods. Hunters over 18 who pass physical and firearms tests may be licensed, but they must follow strict rules on where and how to hunt to avoid accidents and public panic. Black bears are incredibly resourceful. As winter approaches, they gorge themselves to build fat reserves for hibernation. This makes them easier to track, but also more desperate and aggressive. Successful hunters must master stealth, using wind direction, natural cover, and the help of dogs to approach their quarry undetected. Dogs can distract the bear, bark alerts, and guide hunters to its location, all while keeping their handlers out of immediate danger. Still, not everyone agrees with the gun solution. Some argue that shooting bears risks accidents and only addresses the symptoms, not the root causes. Advocates for coexistence call for habitat management, community education, and stronger enforcement of waste control, which would prevent bears from being drawn into human areas in the first place. For many struggling farmers, however, such long-term strategies feel too slow. The reality is stark. Without immediate measures, millions of dollars in crops and livestock could be wiped out every year. Already, estimates suggest that with control efforts, the agricultural economy has recovered by up to 70%, though the tension between conservation and survival remains unresolved. So the battle continues. Wolves in the forests, bears in the fields, and farmers caught in between. Hunting dogs, rifles, regulations, and human courage all play a role in this war for survival. Yet the question lingers, is there a better way? Could technology, relocation, or coexistence truly replace the age-old traditions of hunting? Or will the gunshots at dusk and the howls of wolves forever remain part of America's rural soundtrack?